Muy buenos dias. Welcome back to Sun Up on 7. It's been quite an enjoyable show today. I hope that you as well have been enjoying and finding inspiration, finding where do you fit in and which event you want to come up. We already announced 2 upcoming events that are happening Friday and Saturday. There's the event hosted by the British High Commission on Friday at 1 p.m. It's going to be showed via Facebook, and it's in commemoration of the Day of the Girl Child. So stay tuned for that conversation. And also happening on Saturday at Trey's Barn and Grill, which is on the way to San Ignacio. There's a holistic day of health and well-being taking place. Monica Habed is going to be there. It's quite a fun outdoor experience for you to join. And it's time for our next conversation. And right now we're going to be celebrating with Alida Sharp, who's in Canada, and she's joining us via Zoom with her vibrant self as always and all powered up. Miss Alida, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
It's such a joy to have this conversation. Yes, your smile is so contagious. We love it. So you're in Canada. How is Canada treating you?
Oh, it's going so well, and everyone here has been just so kind and welcoming. It's been an incredible experience.
I agree with you. Canada is such a vibe.
Yeah, it
People
is.
there are so kind.
Totally,
Yes.
totally.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about, what's your trip about being in Canada too as well? What can people, just tell us about this trip, because I don't want to go into details. So you go into the details. Give me the shush.
Well, I am here for the Masters Classic World Championships for powerlifting. And I actually competed on Sunday, and it was an absolutely incredible experience. This is Belize's first time in the Masters competition for Worlds. We had an athlete, Kaylin Godoy, was at the Open Classic World Championships. I'm at the Masters. And that means this championships is for people over 40.
Oh, wow. So even that, the fact that it's for folks over 40s, it's exciting. I mean, you're doing great stuff. And I think it really defies the fact that people will think as age is a limit. And look at you doing great stuff, representing Belize at this event. Congratulations for doing that, for doing this for us. It's absolutely amazing to hear. Can you tell us, how did the competition go that you took place?
The competition actually went well. I was up against, there were 8 of us in my category.
Okay.
And I ended up with a silver medal on the bench press. There are 3 events in powerlifting. There's the back squat where the bar is on your back, bench press where you're pushing it up. You're laying flat and pushing the bar up, and then deadlift where you're pulling it off the ground. I got a silver medal for my bench press, and I earned a bronze medal for my deadlift. And so those, I had anticipated the bench medal just because I had seen the numbers from the other competitors, and I knew that my bench was pretty strong. But the deadlift medal was a complete surprise. And when there was an opportunity to make that pull for 3rd place, of course, we had to go for it.
Of course, you learn something new about yourself in this competition.
And I have to say congratulations, because this is the first time Belize is competing in this, and we're already winning silver and bronze. That is amazing.
Yes.
I don't think people are understanding how incredible this is, First time come and already, making your mark. It sets the tone for others out there, as well for yourself to be recognized for all the hard work and discipline you put into your craft.
Oh, thank you so much. And, one of the things that I absolutely love about powerlifting is that it is an inclusive sport. On the Belize national team, our youngest team member, I believe Will, is 21, and I'm the oldest team member at 59. When we had our Belize national competition, we had 3 females, I believe, that were 13, 14 years old.
Wow.
So this sport is just absolutely incredible. And our oldest competitor at the Belize national event, I believe he was in his 70s. So this is a sport that you can continue to do. You can start young and do this for the rest of your life as long as you're healthy. And that's one of the things I love about it. It really has just been a fountain of youth for me, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
So can we say that we're going to be continuing this? You're not going to stop anytime soon?
I have no plans to stop anytime soon. Yet next year's Masters Championship will be held in Mongolia. And I've already set my goals. I'm already making plans.
Wow.
Before coming here, I had gone to Panama with the national team.
Yes.
Yeah. So I will be doing that competition again. Next year, it moves to Grand Cayman Island.
Ooh.
And so we will see after the Belize national competition is in February. So we'll see how many people make the national team. And, you know, if all goes well, I'll be on the national team again for 2023 and be able to represent Belize in Cayman and in Mongolia next year.
Well, Ms. Sharp, we're rooting for you. You're going to be on that team. We already speak it into existence for you.
Yes.
That is so exciting. So what besides, so we know that in February you're going to be competing to be on the national team, right? What happens thereafter? So right now is just going to be, when you come back, it's going to be just like training and discipline time?
Yes. This would be considered my off season. I've been on for quite a while because the Belize Nationals was in May, and then North American Regionals was in August, and then this is World Championships here in October. So I will get a little bit of a break where we will probably just decrease the weights for a short while, and then I'll be back up to speed so that I can continue gaining strength. And I have my eyes set on some more North American records, breaking and setting some new ones for Belize, of course. And there's also a Masters world record that I would like to tackle next year. So we'll see what happens.
I just so love the way how you approach this. Like, it's not even just about going and competing. Like, you're setting your hopes and your dreams on, like, breaking your records. And I remember you did break a record, I think, was in Panama. In
three.
Panama. Three records in Panama, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so, like, just to see, you know, you just set this and you go towards it. I really want to ask, what would be your advice? Because you talk about there's no age discrimination here. So for anybody,
talked about the inclusion. I mean, you mentioned that it's your fountain of youth, you know, lifting weights, you know, it makes you like looking young.
And I remember your story too as well, where she started off not really into it. She was just trying to get healthier. And then it just went into like, oh, I like this. Let me train and continue. I remember, and I was just like,
well, you're actually too kind, because when I got started, it was more vanity. I mean, I'm a singer. And I wanted my arm to look good when I was holding the microphone. So,
really, are you a singer?
Yes. That was the initial goal.
All right.
I just wanted to look good.
And you're looking fabulous, just so you know.
I discovered along the way that I actually feel better, and I have gained some self-confidence and just a different outlook on life through all that I've been doing. And you know, I think this sport is one of those where it's not something you can just pick up, you know, in a few months and move forward. There might be some people that have that kind of raw energy or talent, but most of us, especially those that were on the national team, we'd all been lifting for a while. And, you know, so it just takes discipline. It takes that attitude of setting the goals that you want to make and then working towards them.
And what would you say for women too as well? Because I think when people think about powerlifting, sometimes they don't gravitate towards a woman being a power lifter and doing the dead weights and doing the bench press and all that. I think they just kind of like attribute that to men. Can you speak to that mentality and for the motivation for women specifically to get into the sport, to try out for national teams, or just at least try first to get to that point?
You know, I think there's still so many myths surrounding women and our health and being able to do this. It is not a dangerous sport at all for women. Everything is controlled. When you're learning to lift, there's a correct way to do everything so that you never put yourself in any kind of danger. We don't lift with ego. You know, we have to make sure that it's something that we're doing properly. For women, bone density is very important. Maintaining muscle mass as we age is very important. And, you know, I believe that our strength, especially as women, has functional aspects as well. Yeah, during the pandemic, I had to go stay with my mom for a bit. My dad went into the hospital and eventually passed away. My mom ended up having knee surgery. I'm strong enough that I was able to help her get in and out of bed, get on and off the toilet. You know, our strength as women is important. And when I have female clients come into the gym and I'm handing them a 10-pound weight, they look at me like, oh, I can't lift that. And I'm like, well, how heavy is that sack of flour that you've been lifting? I think women don't realize how much strength they already have, you know?
Wow.
And all you're doing is building on the strength you already have.
Definitely. Thank you for putting that into
that's a
perspective.
different
You know, that's a
perspective.
good way of, you know, making powerlifting just, you can make it into your everyday life. So thank you for that. Alida, I want to ask you you mentioned that the tryouts and the national championship is going to happen next year. For folks that are tuned into this conversation and seeing you being successful and celebrating your wins, how can they prepare for that event? And is there a date already scheduled for those competitions?
I believe, yes, there's already been a date set. It's in February. You can look at the Belize Powerlifting Association page. You can always contact Khalid Usher from the Belize Powerlifting Association. He would have all those dates. I'm not sure if it's been finalized, but I know it is for February.
Great.
If you're involved or want to get involved, your local gym, you just want to contact a trainer that has some powerlifting experience. It's important to look at the rules because powerlifting follows an international set of rules. So from the IPF, the International Powerlifting Federation, you can go to their website and see what the rules are because there's a specific way for each lift. You have to make depth on the squat, which means your hip joint has to go below the knee. On the bench press, your elbows have to go below your shoulders. And on the deadlift, when you stand up, you have to lock out a specific way. So there's a standard for each lift. So just learning those standards, learning how to lift properly will help you prepare for this event.
Well,
I don't want to tell you, Ms. Sharp, just now I was listening to what you're saying, and I'm like,
how does my hip go lower than
yeah,
my thing? I'm like,
them
how does that
calculations ain't doing the same thing it be doing in your brain to my brain. That is.
It just means you have to get low when you're squatting.
The way how you said
if you watch us, you'll see it. You'll see those. When I was bodybuilding, I didn't have to squat quite as low. You know, it was more about doing the heavy weight and getting the reps in. But as a power lifter, there's a standard, so we have to go low on the squats.
And then I think Khalid had said it too as well when they were here talking about the technicalities that goes into powerlifting. Like, it's a lot of little technicalities when it comes to your weight, when it comes to little things that you do to break our records. So I think that's the first step for people out there is also to just like follow and see exactly, you know, what it's all about before you even dive into it. Get excited about it. Get excited about the technicalities, the little stuff that you can get to do. That's going to create, you know, that thrill. And I also want you to talk a little bit, Ms. Sharp, on the sponsorship, because I know, you know, not last year, no, when you guys were going to Panama and everything, there was a bit of a struggle to get sponsorship. It was like up to the last minute that you guys were trying to get the funding and everything. And people saw how incredible you guys did in that competition. Now we're going into, you know, next year, February, we're going to be picking the national team, and then, of course, competitions start. Can you talk to the business community, to people out there, why they need to support you guys? Why they need to, how can they support you? You know, what can they do?
You know, Belize is now on the map.
Yes.
So people are watching.
Good job for doing that for us.
Period.
Thank you. Yes.
When I stepped off that podium, the president of the International Powerlifting Federation asked to take a picture with me because he said he needed to have a picture with Belize.
Wow.
So people know who we are. And it's important for any business, you know, when we wear our tracksuits or when we step out on the stage, we can have logos on our tracksuit, maybe on the T-shirts that we wear, different things like that. So, you know, if you're interested in having your business seen on the national or the international stage, you might want to support us as powerlifters because, you know, we can bring some attention to your company or to your business. And I am very grateful for the people that stepped up and have sponsored me along the way. You know, it just makes all the difference in the world to have that sponsorship, to have that support behind you. And we are always looking for funds. This is an expensive sport. There are supplements that I take. There is equipment that's very expensive. So those beginning lifters out there, all of our equipment has to be approved at a certain standard. Oh. And to meet that, it does take buying specific equipment. You know, I had wrist wraps in Panama that weren't IPF approved, and I didn't realize that. So I did have to go back and read the rules again. And so one of the other lifters loaned me her wrist wraps so that I could do that. But I was able to purchase the ones that I needed for Worlds. But if there is any company out there, large or small, whatever donation you can make, whatever support you can give to an individual powerlifter, to the Belize Powerlifting Association, to the national team, it will all be used very well. It will all get documented and accounted for. We are very grateful for each and every person, business, organization that supports us in every way.
Yeah, you know, and the beauty about having sponsorship is that it allows you to focus on your training and improving your skill, because you will have one less thing to worry about.
Yeah, to me personally.
Yes, because as an athlete, that needs to be my primary focus. Exactly. I need to be focused on training and not worried about how I'm going to get to this next event.
No, that's the thing, and I really wanted to touch base on that for people out there to understand the importance of sponsorship. You know, when they have to be doing bake sales or barbecues or whatever it is to try to raise that money, you know, it takes away from their focus on getting better, discipline. You know, they're already not being paid to do this. There's so much people being paid to do their different crafts a lot of times. So if you can support it in a small way, it really builds up and helps them to focus more on what's really important, like breaking these records that we know Ms. Sharp's going to be doing.
Yes. So, Ms. Sharp, so as we wind down this conversation, can you tell us, what have you been up to in Canada other than focusing on powerlifting? I mean, the competition is over. Are you going and you visiting any spot? What's on your to-do list there?
You know, one of the things that I absolutely love about powerlifters is that even though we compete against one another, we also support one another. And I have made some really great connections here with people from other countries. So I've been watching them as they've competed. And in fact, today, one of the judges that came and worked with us in Belize, Kimberly Walford, is currently competing right now. So I just came out of the auditorium to talk with you, and I'm going to go back in and catch her last few lifts. We had David Ricks, who coached me. He's also on the same team as Kimberly. There are other lifters that I've wanted to see. I've made some connections with different with different organizations here. I was able to talk with some of the higher ups in the North American Powerlifting Federation. But then I did have a little fun. My husband and I went to the mall yesterday and saw The Woman King and another movie. Wow. So that was fun. We've toured around a little bit here in the city. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. Yeah. And like I said, the people have been so kind. So it's been a great trip. It's been a great experience.
Alida, you are a woman king yourself, you know? You know, so we just want to say congratulations once more on your wins. We absolutely love it for you, and we thank you for representing us well. We look forward to our next conversation with you. Continue enjoying Canada. Continue enriching yourself in this opportunity. We love you. And
Belize is 100% supporting you. Congratulations on, you know, going first time in this, making sure Belize was exposed and getting that silver and bronze medals that, you know, we so appreciate. Again, putting us back there, letting people know we are here and we are ready. So we thank you for all of that. It's so good to see, you know, Belizeans going out there and really representing us well. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was great to be with you all.
Take care.
And go back and enjoy, you know, the auditorium and all the lifts and everything. We're rooting for whoever you're rooting for. We're always on your side.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And with that, guys, we go to our next commercial break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.